Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today, we got a small little update here about the Subnautica 2 lawsuit of the key leadership versus Krafton, the publisher. Now, real quick, the idea has basically been the reason that the leadership is suing is because they're like, well, they don't want to pay another $250 million. And, Krafton probably doesn't. I don't deny that at all. The other thing is that Krafton is pushing back and saying, it's like, well, we can present evidence that basically you weren't doing your job. And so there's been this tussle now back and forth. I mean, we're at the end of November. It's almost Thanksgiving, folks. Man, time's going quick for me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, this is turning into a mess. And yeah, now we're filing now with some other things. Let's go ahead and read this. Now, Kotaku reports that Cleveland, Gill, and McGuire accused Krafton CEO Kim of using ChatGPT to help him brainstorm ways to avoid paying the earnout. End quote, which again is that $250 million. But Krafton says conclusively in an opposition document provided to Games Radar Plus, Games Radar, that though it's tried, it has not located the search histories the former Unknown Worlds leads want. Though, I mean, how do we know that they've looked? To be honest, I didn't even know that ChatGPT actually held those records, if they held records at all with that thing, because, I mean, how many times is it used, for Pete's sakes? I guess it would be kind of like a search engine still. But yeah, is all of that saved? I have no idea. ChatGPT appears 23 times in the document. Krafton insists that Cleveland and Gill and McGuire acquire its chatbot search history are a last-ditch effort to find anything to support its claims. Again, saying that Krafton is basically not wanting to pay the $250 million. That's why they fired them. That's why they've been delaying the game. And it laments that plaintiff demand Mr. Kim conduct the search and make the production over his lunch break, which is not a ton of time at all. Saying that they should be able to find it pretty quickly. Anyway, Krafton says, what about the plaintiff skeletons? Krafton alleges that on the day they were all fired, Cleveland told Gill and McGuire in a group chat, quick reminder, check your company ChatGPT account to make sure there's nothing incriminating there. So apparently it does save. And yeah, they're wanting to... but then how do you prove that? Again, you got to go through the group chat. Krafton alleges that the chat was also used to discuss their disputes with Krafton, including their theft of company confidential information. But again, this is allegedly. This is not proved again. And this is all this lawsuit is becoming, I feel like, at this point. In its opposition document, Krafton maintains that Cleveland, Gill, and McGuire had been lying for years about their involvement in Unknown Worlds, which was almost none. Because again, all of this is basically saying that they're wanting to be reinstated at their jobs that they didn't do for years. That's what Krafton is saying. This is just a quick summary. Quote, unfortunately, the key employees were only focused on securing more money for themselves, argues the publisher, which was agreed to, $250 million for the deadline. So yeah, it doesn't look good when you're, when you're delaying the game past that point, so that way you don't have to pay. And then, too, you're also firing the head employees. Though Krafton has been saying as well that the game basically wasn't ready from the feedback that they got, which has not been made public. But yeah, this is just a continued mess, and this is becoming long-winded, really. And it's getting to a point where it doesn't look good for the leaders actually trying to sue Krafton, because all Krafton has to do is just have a reasonable doubt that is actually their intention. But again, Krafton hasn't been very good at providing things that the courts need. Even just last time we talked about this, just even what the defense is over for Krafton. And I'll have that video at the end screen if you're interested in listening. But yeah, this is just a short little one. But yeah, ultimately, this is about money. And I think it's about money to Krafton, and I think it's about money, again, to the leadership. But I still don't see how the leadership is really going to win this case, because we're wanting to pull ChatGPT records now to say that, yeah, they looked to see how they can avoid paying $250 million, brainstorming ideas. Like, That doesn't look good, but it would kind of mean exactly like how it would need to be worded so that you could prove the intent. But yeah, I'm not sure what the court's going to do. The other lawsuit, I took a look at this. None of this, as far as I can find, has still moved on this. So this is Unknown Worlds lawsuit filed against the founders themselves, all three of them, for confidential files that were stolen and other business records and intellectual property. So nothing has still moved on this. The last that we saw on this was the end of August. We're at the end of November now. I'm assuming this has got to move forward. I'll dig some more after the holidays in December and see if I can find something on this. But yeah, there's barely been any movement on this. And then this, what's going on with these? Like, there's not a lot of meat on this one for this video. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The date for release is still probably early access 2026. And yeah, we'll see if that happens. We do have a Xbox showcase, partner showcase, literally on November 20th, which might be today when you're watching this. And we'll see if Subnautica's in there. Because you'd think there would want to be at least some announcement, maybe at the Game Awards, maybe with Xbox, maybe with somebody else, that the game is actually coming out. And yeah, I am excited for that game. They've been working on it for quite a long time. But yeah, still, I think Krafton made a really bad deal, paying $500 million and then ensuring another 250 with certain sales goals, because then there's motivation of money there. And I'm still not very happy that the creators wanted to sell Subnautica in the first place. I think they could have made it on their own, but they wanted, well, 500 million. That's a lot of money. But yeah, this totally all could have been avoided. But yeah, it all comes down to what they can prove and who can prove it. So, but yeah, the leads, since they're the ones suing, they have to prove, beyond a doubt that this is what Krafton is doing. This is why they did what they did. And that's been, I think, pretty challenging so far. All Krafton has to do is just provide reasonable doubt. And that's a heck of a lot easier. And yeah, I think this is a bigger issue than what the founders were thinking. So, man, I don't know. But either way, it's money. And I think it's both. I don't think Krafton wants to pay the $250 million. And I also think that the founders weren't doing the best work they could have done over the years, at least to some degree. And so I think both have a leg to stand on, and we'll see what happens. So with that, folks, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one.